Hello, Catherine Perry here with another Transformation Beyond Beliefs tip for you, brought to you by icpotentials.com. I have gotten a couple of emails on this topic, so I thought it was really important to go ahead and share this information with you right away because you are coming through a big shift right now, and you may notice that there are some glitches starting to happen. You may notice that you may yourself actually be kind of internally kind of stirred up. You might be agitated. You may be noticing that you're a little more annoyed. So one, you might be noticing your own emotions. You might be feeling frustrated. But then also there's something happening with glitches all around you. The computer is eating in your documents, or suddenly it takes forever for a video to render, or once you do, the track is all off, or people who said they would be there at 7 suddenly disappear, or just things, life just starts knocking you sideways. And I want you to know that this is something that every business person has to go through, every entrepreneur on the path to success. And in energy psychology, we know what's happening because you are shifting energies. We could say that you've been operating at one level in your business, in your life, and we could call that your level of consciousness, but we could also call this your comfort zone. As you start to move out of your comfort zone, you're actually kind of having to break through an energy field. And this causes a disruption in the energy around you. Okay. Now, Bruce Lipton, who's the author of Biology to Believe, talks about this, and he believes, and what he's noticed in the lab is that this is a biological event, and it's actually coming up from the DNA itself, and there is a positive intention. So I really want you to first get that. You go, oh no, there's no way having all of these setbacks and chaos or upsets have a positive intention. But there really is. And it's this, that it is to keep you safe inside your family system and the way that you have known yourself. And as you're moving out of that, it is to try to draw you back in. But it is an illusion. And if you will keep your eye and keep your focus on the results and allow your behavior to be flexible, then you will continue on and get to your goal. But what stops most people is they will see it as a sign that they're not doing the right thing, or they will think that they're under attack. So one idea that really helped me start getting over this, because as things start not going right, have you noticed that maybe you go into some self-criticism, like, oh, this is stupid, or it's my fault, or what's wrong with me that this is happening? And you need to go ahead and just adopt this, that even though you're wrong, you're right. Even though it's going wrong, you're right. You're doing the right thing. And the way that you can make sure you're doing the right thing is to stay aligned to the reason that you want to make the change, and then you move, and then keep your eye on the goal. Now, I really started noticing that there was some behavior that I was doing that at first I was identifying as self-sabotaging, which is, if you're in the mind-body field, that's the first thing you want to look at. You want to say, oh my gosh, how am I stopping myself? How am I causing this? And then the other way people look at it is, oh, there's a block, or maybe they're under attack. Both are incorrect. So my default is to assume that I'm wrong, that I've made a mistake, and there's some terrible program that's, some terrible thing in me that's causing the problem. At least it used to be. And I had in my old career, when I was an apartment manager, I had been instructed to send out notices to my group of people that 3 days later, bank officials would be arriving to inspect the property, which is a common thing that happens in real estate. The people who loan you money want to see the building that they're holding for collateral. And it's very common that this happens all the time. And this was a very common part of my job. And I was instructed to send out notices. And I said, yep, I will do that. And promptly did not think about it another time until like 5 o'clock the day before, and I had not sent out the notices, and I had been told bank officials are arriving at 9 in the morning. So this is a big panic moment in that career. And so fortunately I had really good relationships with my customers. I was able to ask for permission. I asked them to sign permission slips that we were going in the morning, and I had the right number of apartments. I really hustled. And then at 8:45 the next morning, I got a call that said, Catherine, we're so sorry that if we inconvenienced you, please let the people know that we will not be conducting the bank inspection as planned, and we will have to schedule that for 2 months later. And first I was like, oh, what a relief, right? Oh my gosh, good thing. And then you might get a little mad. Oh, but wait, I went through all that for nothing. No. What I realized was that internally my intuition was letting me know that this wasn't going to happen, and my behavior was already reflecting that. So what I realized when I'm making this statement, even though I'm doing it wrong, I'm doing it right, I'm really talking about trust yourself to know that you're doing things at the right time in the right way. Okay? Just breathe into that for a minute. So maybe you notice there's no energy towards something. Maybe there's a glitch that you don't know about. There's a delay. But just trust yourself to know that you are taking those small steps. If you're experiencing, let's say, aggravation or frustration, that's really a buildup of energy that's happening. And I want you to think about that positively too, instead of like, oh, I get so mad. Well, anger can be a very positive energy, and what's having to happen, remember we've got this kind of field of energy around us, this level of consciousness that we've been operating at. Well, that negative emotion is to build up enough energy to get you to lift to that next level. Okay? We don't necessarily flow gently and easily to our next place. So allow that energy to be a propeller for you. The next thing is this. Remember I mentioned that initially you might go, I'm having these negative emotions, or we're having these glitches. Well, people in my, kind of related in my background, but also in a lot of ways of thinking is, hey, we have enemies. There are people criticizing us. There's maybe people are sending negative thoughts towards us, and they're trying to stop us. Well, you could actually kind of turn that into a rally cry like, hey, we'll never be stopped. We're going to power on. Yeah, and that becomes your rally, right? But really what is speaking there is old victim training, that you are powerless against the effect of others. Now, frankly, this is going to be liberating, and initially it may be a little insulting, but you need to know that there's not that much interest in you right now. People are generally interested in themselves. There is very little interest in stopping you. And that sounds kind of insulting, but when you get it, it's really kind of liberating. Like when you think, when you know somebody who doesn't dance because they don't want to look stupid, but the people who are out dancing are not thinking about the people who are not dancing. They're dancing with other dancers. Does that make sense? They're not sitting there going, what's wrong with those dancers, those people who aren't dancing? Get them over here. How dare they not dance? They don't care, right? So there's not enough interest. But let's take this a step further. There are straight up corrupt, mean people who are having success in politics and business. They are having relationships where their partner showers them with diamonds and gold and takes them on trips and gives them everything they want. There are spoiled, rotten children, and they're getting their needs met. And there are a lot of people who actively dislike them, and yet somehow they're getting what they want. So if they're getting what they want, why shouldn't you, who wants to create something of value in the world, who only wants to help and serve, who is only asking to create a business that is profitable so that you can take care of yourself and for your family and live a life of enjoyment and provide value to other people, why wouldn't there be support and help for that? Well, it starts with they decided to get their own needs met. So start taking care of yourself. This is where knowing that there is nothing, there is no thought, image, or idea in the past, the present, or could ever arrive in the future can stop you from your success. There is nothing. And this stuff that you're experiencing is only temporary. In fact, it may actually increase the closer you get to your goal. So when these glitches, when these things start stopping you, when you start running into active opposition, when chaos starts happening, when things start happening in your family, this is actually a very good sign. And bless it. Be grateful for it. Let it steel your resolve. Let that energy get redirected and come behind you to move you forward. You have something here. You have got something amazing. And the day that you recognize that you made it, it's going to be the greatest day in your life. So I want to just do a real quick, what we call a four-part statement. It's the I see potential statement for turning around your state of being. And it goes very simply like this. We actually start out by being negative first, and then we flip it around into being positive. Okay, and for more information on what that statement is and how you would use it and what the power behind that statement is, check out Big Vision Mastermind. And we have an amazing program that it helps you align to your vision, tap in to the resources, be able to get messages from your environment, create agreement in the world for your good, create cooperation, and give you confidence to move forward in your dream. So all you have to do to find out more about that is click on the link below. But right now, let's go ahead and go into the very short and powerful I see potential statement. So first we're going to be negative. So let's just say, everything is falling apart, right? Or nothing's going right. But let's just say everything's falling apart. So just repeat after me if you're able to where you are. Everything's falling apart. And everything is going to fall apart. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that things fall apart until I no longer need for things to fall apart. Take a big breath. Good. So now let's do it for being successful. I am a success, and I'm going to be a success. And I will do everything in my power to become a success until I absolutely know myself as a success. Breathe into that. Take that idea in. Yes. The wonderful thing about that last statement is you get to determine what kind of success you want to be and what it looks like. Get really clear on what the outcome is and what some of those signs are for that outcome that you desire. I trust that you have found this valuable. For more information about Big Vision Mastermind or I See Potentials, just click on the link below. And so until next time, this is Catherine Perry, and I witness your mastery.